Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to Your Football Predictions, the series where you guys put in your predictions for the weekend's football. I do the same, and we can see who gets the most correct scores. So as always, loads of you guys put your predictions in for last weekend's football. Those are my predictions up there. Liverpool Stoke, I thought Liverpool would carry on their great form and beat them, but obviously they've got their mind on the Champions League, which they are now in the final of, so big up to Liverpool. They drew with Stoke 0-0, so good point for Stoke. Newcastle, West Brom. I thought Newcastle might regain some form and win. We actually lost 1-0. We're safe, so I'm happy, but not the greatest of performances. Swansea, Chelsea. I had a feeling with Swansea's positioning in the league, they might do something, but they didn't. They lost. And then Man U, Arsenal, I went for 3-2 Man U, and they actually won 2-1. So no correct scores for me. And the winner of this week's video is SHAY. He was the only person to get 2 correct scores, so big up to him. I've put his YouTube link down in the description. Make sure you subscribe to him. I already have. And remember, if you want to be shouted out in next week's video, get your predictions in for the games I'm about to go through now. Loads of you guys commented after the first game had started, and that is the cut-off line. So if you want to get your predictions in, try and do it quick. Alright guys, let's get into this weekend's games. First off, on the Saturday at 12:30, we've got Stoke taking on Crystal Palace. So I briefly mentioned it there. Stoke aren't in a great position at the minute, currently 19th in the league. They're 3 points off Swansea, which are just out of the relegation zone. So a win this weekend, because of goal difference, wouldn't see them get out there, but they still have time, they still have games. Crystal Palace, they've had some great form recently. In the last 5 games, they've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. In Stoke's last 3 games, they've drawn 3, including the game against Liverpool. So they are fighting for it, and there is still time. 3 points away from Swansea, 5 points away from Huddersfield and West Ham. So it's a very important weekend for Stoke. I mean, the pressure's on. They're at home. They need a win. So I'm going to back them. 2-1 win. Keep things interesting. But like I said, Crystal Palace are on great form. They could go there and win as well. So interesting to see what happens with that one. Next up, on the 3 o'clock game we are looking at is Watford taking on Newcastle. So Watford currently sitting in 13th, Newcastle are sitting in 10th. So if you think not even that too long ago, Watford looked like they could have been even challenging for a Europa spot. And some poor form has dropped them down a little bit. Similar to or same as Crystal Palace, they're on 38 points. They've done their job, they're still in the Prem. Same with Newcastle, very happy that we are in the Premier League next season. But we didn't have the greatest game against West Brom. Watford last 5 games, they've lost 3, drawn 2, and then obviously Newcastle, we had that great 4-game winning streak, then lost against Everton, lost against West Brom. So 2 teams that aren't going to get relegated. There's nothing really to push for Europe, but I'm hoping it's still going to be a good game. I'm hoping after Newcastle's last 2 performances, we're going to go out there and show the fans what we can do. I can't get to the game this weekend, but I know this ticket's sold out really fast, so I'm sure all the away fans are going to be loving it anyway. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a tough game. After our performance against West Brom, and just because of the situation of the league, I can probably see this one being a draw, so I'm going to go 1-1. Next up, and moving on to the Sunday at 4 o'clock, we've got Arsenal taking on Burnley. So Arsenal are sitting in 6th, Burnley are sitting in 7th. Arsenal are playing tonight in the Europa League against Atletico Madrid to try and grab themselves a place in the final of the Europa League Cup, and to hopefully win that and get Champions League football for next season as well, with Arsene Wenger leaving. So yeah, good luck to Arsenal, and I'll be watching that game after I finish this. Yeah, so Burnley are only 3 points behind Arsenal. So Burnley have had an absolutely amazing season. Sean Dyche has done them wonders. Can they get 6th? They can. The goal difference isn't as great as Arsenal's, but there is still a few games left, and Arsenal are going to have their mind on the Europa League, obviously depending on what happens tonight. Burnley have already booked themselves a place in the Europa League next season, which is massive. I think it is, again, mathematically possible that Everton could pass them in the last 2 games if they score 6-7-0 in their last 2 games as well. But big up to Burnley. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one again. Burnley are going to love to try and beat Arsenal and to overtake them into 6th place. And depending on what happens with Arsenal tonight, I think could potentially alter what happens on Sunday. So I'm going to back Burnley 2-1. And to finish things off again on the Sunday, and again at 4:30, but this one's on TV, and it's Chelsea taking on Liverpool. So massive big up to Liverpool for getting themselves a place in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. Massive, massive game that is. So good luck to Liverpool with that one. They are sitting in 3rd. We've got Chelsea sitting in 5th. Now, Chelsea are 5 points behind Spurs and 6 points behind Liverpool. So Chelsea and Spurs have both got 3 games to go. Liverpool's got 2 games to go. So if Chelsea want that Champions League spot, they need to be beating Liverpool in this game. And although it's always looked like Liverpool would have that Champions League spot, it is still possible that if Chelsea win their remaining games, they could move ahead, especially with that game in hand on Liverpool. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's the maths again of who can and can't do things. I'm trying to keep up the best I can, but it's going to be an interesting game. Chelsea have won their last 3 games. Liverpool beat Bournemouth and then drew with West Brom and Stoke, which I think is more of a view on them having their mind on bigger things on the Champions League, which is why I'm saying they shouldn't just take their eye off the Premier League just yet. I mean, if they go and win the Champions League, then they'll have their place secured anyway. But this is going to be a massive game. Chelsea are going to want it. They're at home. Liverpool will be on a massive buzz, though, from getting in the Champions League final. So I'm hoping for a lot of goals. I'm going to, shall I say draw? I'm going to back Liverpool 3-2. And that is it, guys. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. Those are my predictions up there. We're at the point in the season now when it's all maths, and if this person beats that person and they beat them, then they can do this and they can do that. So I'm hoping what I've said in this video is correct. Make sure to get your comments in down below for those games. Get your predictions in before the first game kicks off, which is 12:30 on Saturday. Otherwise they won't count, and I'll shout out the winner in next week's video. There are games throughout next week as well, so I think the plan is to do this video at the end of next week, and we'll have a one for the final weekend of the Premier League football. Alright guys, so as always, I hope you've enjoyed it. Drop a like if you are enjoying this series, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.